Okay, this is Herman Morgan. I've got a poem here that I'd like to read to y'all. It's a three-part poem. It was written a while back before I met my late fiance, who unfortunately passed away last July 24th of a pulmonary embolism. The poem is a bit of a dark and depressing poem because at the time of my life I was in a bad place. But I call this poem Endless Love, a tragic poem in three parts. This is the first part. Lost in a sea of tragedy, drifting further and further from the shores of sanity. Awash in tears, she weeps for her dark lover, her lord and master, as he lays at her feet slowly expiring, the wounds of battle slowly releasing his life. He fought for her honor. He fought for their freedom. He won, but at this heavy cost. As she mourned him, lying there beside him, he gently stroked her hair and whispered his love into her ear. He promised he would return, to hold her in his arms forever. And thus he passed. At his funeral, she laid a single black rose on his coffin before they lowered it into the unforgiving earth. That horrid thump as the first spadeful of dirt hit the lid echoed in her ears. It was the sound of her heart breaking. No words could comfort her, no kind gestures could ease her pain. For she had lost the only person she had ever cared about, as the grave was filled so her heart emptied a bit, leaving a void. I will never love another. These words she spoke as she stood there in the rain, watching her lover disappear forever. Drops of rain mingling with the tears on her cheeks. She whispered his name, sobbing silently, long after the other mourners had left. Finally, she walked the long, cold walk home, but it didn't feel like home anymore. He was gone, never to return, never to hold her in his arms again, never to lie with her, never to be there to comfort her, never to tease her playfully while she cooked, never to defend her honor, never again, or so she thought. Okay, welcome back. This is part two of the poem I started earlier. As you can see, I'm wearing a different shirt. Wah, 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 wah. The shirt I wore in the first one has been sacrificed. Had too many holes in it. I cut the pattern off the front and I ditched the shirt because, there's no sense of keeping it because I'm not going to wear it again. What I'm going to do with the pattern is I'm going to put it up on the wall back there under that poster, probably. I don't know where yet. Anyway, part two of Endless Love. She lies there at night mourning her lost love, tears drying stiffly on her cheeks, her pillow damp with them as she slowly drifts into slumber. A chill fills the night air as the mist swirls into being, slowly spiraling toward her open window. She stirs restlessly, weeping in her sleep. The mist fills the room as though a fog bank suddenly engulfed the manor. Out of the mist, two blazing red eyes appear. A whisper carries across the room. Angelique. She awakens to find him standing there, her love, her master, her dark desire. I have returned from the abyss just for you. Come away with me and we can be together forever. She trembles at his icy touch, but not in fear. As he knelt beside her, a thrill coursed through her body. His hands, icy cold, took her warm ones in them. His lips kissed hers. He spoke not with his voice, but with his caresses. She felt his breath, fiery as his skin was cold, upon her throat, a sweet sting as she swoons. She feels a draining sensation. She is weak, near passing. He draws back, crimson rubies dripping from his lips, eyes half lidded in ecstasy. He opens a vein in his wrist. Life eternal wells up out of it. He presses it to her lips and urges her. Drink, he whispers, and live. The taste is bittersweet and metallic, like old coins. Liquid fire courses through her. She writhes and twists as new strength floods her body. She is reborn. Years roll by. Decades. Centuries. Each one as tedious as the one before it. She has come to loathe what she became. The thirst ever consuming. Watching her friends age and die over and over again. Time passing her by with astonishing rapidity. New technologies, confusing, overwhelming. He sees it happening to her, but is powerless to stop it. She sinks deeper into depression, not feeding, getting weaker. Night by long night he brings her victims, but she refuses. Her body decaying, her beauty gone. Her beauty gone, replaced by the visage of a withered old crone. He tries to force her to feed, but no longer holds power over her, and he becomes angry. He yells at her, scolds her, berates and chastises her, but nothing works. Finally, he asks the fateful question, "What do you want from me?" One word is her answer: release. His heart breaks. He screams his anguish at the night sky, but it is unheeding. Night after night, the same question. Night after night, the same answer. He couldn't bring himself to grant her request, and so, one morning, just before dawn, she walked out and met the sunrise. When he awoke that evening, he saw the pile of ash and wept tears of blood. He did not hunt that night, nor did he sweep the remains away. Instead, he stood over them all night until dawn, and he joined her in eternity.